Welcome to our second session in our mini series on the pillars of wellness. I just want to touch on the pillars of wellness and what we're talking about when we talk about that. So, it is so important that we have a strong foundation, and that strong foundation is made from our five pillars. On our first mini series, we talked about sleep. Today, we're going to talk about mindfulness. So, chronic stress has an effect on our entire body. It is the cause of many diseases and many reasons why people need to visit a physician or go in for a massage or anything like that. But it has an effect on every single part of our body. And you can see by this diagram, it affects our brain and nervous system, our lungs, our adrenal glands, which are our stress hormones, our musculoskeletal system, and can be the cause of much of our pain, our reproductive system, our digestion, and our heart and lungs and blood vessels. So when we look at the impacts of stress and how it affects our body, stress affects us mentally and emotionally. It makes us worry, overthink, and feel overwhelmed. It affects us physically, causing tight muscles, headaches, poor sleep. It affects our hormones. It raises that cortisol, which keeps us high in stress. And then it affects our lifestyle by making us eat poorly, have less movement and irritability. And finally, it decreases our ability to rest and heal well. So, how does stress hurt our health? Well, a big one, and especially this time of year, it weakens our immune system, so we're sick more often. It disrupts our sleep, so we don't sleep well, and that's when we heal. It slows our digestion, adding to digestive problems. It increases inflammation and pain, and it lowers our energy and mood. So it has a significant impact on our health. So we need to work at reducing our stress and have strategies where we can be more resilient to stress. And Ashley's going to touch on some of those.
The stress isn't going away, and we're going to have that day in and day out. But the important thing is transforming how we feel about stress by some of these activities, like going for a walk, doing a gratitude journal, and finding things, whatever it is that brings you a sense of relaxation and mindfulness. So it doesn't have to be a stereotypical stress reducing activity. If it brings you mindfulness and stress reduction in a healthy manner, it's going to be an important practice to transform stress. We are going to talk about implementing that, but the biggest thing is making sure you implement it on a regular basis. The other thing with stress is making sure we're being mindful of our mindset. Like I said, stress is always going to be there. We're always going to have jobs and families and different things that bring us stress and overwhelm, but having more of an optimistic outlook and trying to look on the bright sides of things are going to impact how that stress feels in our body. If we're constantly having negative talk and a just kind of a down outlook on things, that's when you're going to start feeling more run down, getting sick, getting injured from that because it's taking a greater toll on you. So making sure that we're avoiding our negative self-talk, practicing that gratitude, making sure we're seeing things with the glass half full as opposed to half empty is very crucial, and making sure that you're aware of it as soon as it starts to be able to kind of turn things around. Just some other ways to kind of implement that essential relaxation is a gratitude journal, making sure we're getting adequate time to rest and reset, doing activities that bring you joy, and spending time in nature. Those are some pretty simple things that all of us can make sure we're doing fairly regularly. Participating in activities that bring you joy and happiness is going to be crucial to your emotional regulation. Emotions play a large role in how you feel, and making sure that we're participating in things that we like can help reduce stress. It's estimated that 75 to 90% of all of the visits to physician's office are stress-related problems. So if we can simply start implementing some activities that we enjoy, we could probably significantly reduce those amounts of visits. Meditation is an activity that a lot of us could implement regularly that involves an individual practicing meditation regularly so they can recover from negative events faster. Apps that you can do to meditate would be Headspace, Calm, the Wim Hof method is a method of breathing, and I believe there's some apps out there for that as well. Insight Timer, those are just some different apps that you can download. Some are free, some are paid, but can help navigate mindfulness practices for you regularly to make it a little bit easier as opposed to coming up with them on your own. Deep breathing are exercises that have significant impacts on our health as well, besides for just modulating stress. So, deep breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, basically breathing from our belly, not only is going to reduce stress by activating our vagus nerve, the nerve that spans from our brain to our gut, but it's also going to even help with relieving pain and improving digestion as well, and even detoxifying our body. The vagus nerve plays a huge role in all processes that are going on. So, activating that nerve is going to help things move through properly. And the important thing is that we're implementing this every single day, and it can be very simple, 3 minutes, even starting with a minute. So on your daily commute, so while you're sitting in your car, because most people in South Dakota are not commuting by public transportation, but while you're sitting in your car or waiting to get out of your vehicle to head into the office, do your 1 minute of breathing, maybe while you're brushing your teeth, while you drink your morning coffee, do your gratitude journal, or even when you're out for a walk. Just implement that every single day. It's going to have a profound impact.
So when we go back and we look at it, we have to look at our stresses and try to reduce those. There's things we can do in life to reduce the stresses, but they're always going to come at us. And with that, then, as Ashley went over, there's things you can do in order to help you become more resilient to that stress. So why see us or another physician for your stress and problems? Because most likely that stress is leading to other problems. So in our office, when we have somebody come in that's complaining of stress or other health problems, we always do a good history and examination to determine what exactly that problem is and what is causing it. Then we do advanced testing through nutrient testing. Specifically with stress, we'll often do an adrenal cortisol profile because the adrenal gland is our stress hormone. And then we'll do other functional medicine testing to get more at the root cause of what is causing you to feel like you are. So we often prescribe supplements. Again, this is on top of the foundation, though. These might be adaptogens, which help support our adrenal glands. B vitamins are very good for this and other vitamins. And herbs are also very good to help us with our stress. We'll often use combination of things that are in formulas that work well for stress and anxiety and depression and things like that. And then we think of medication. There's multiple medications out there that help us for stress and anxiety. And again, we want to start with the foundation. We want to work with that. We want to work with reducing the stress load. We want to use our relaxation techniques. We want to look at where maybe our body isn't functioning well and correct those. Use natural supplements. But if those aren't working, we often have to go to medications that will have an effect on our brain chemicals, help with sedation, help with just helping us overall be able to overcome that stress.
We certainly invite you guys to come into our office today to get started on addressing all five of these pillars. We're looking forward to going through the rest of the mini series, which is going to include movement, nutrition, and supplements. But if you know that one of these pillars is lacking, or maybe even all five, contact our office so we can get to the root cause of what's going on. And we can do so through a root cause analysis, testing, and develop the correct treatment for you. Give us a call at 605-352-5264, or you can send me an email at ashleyr@midconetwork.com.